it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video you're seeing, then welcome to my channel. Please hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. I post Monday through Saturday. And today in this video I'm going to do my top 10 fairy tales. Now, just a quick heads up, this is filmed on my iPad. A lot of you guys probably know that. So I'm just seeing if this is going to upload. If it doesn't upload, I'll just record it on my phone later. But it has been working lately a lot better. It's just, I think maybe it just needed to be some things needed to be updated on it. So yeah, anyway, so I'm going to do my top 10 fairy tales. So here are some of my favorite fairy tales, and I do have some videos up of my top 10 videos of these fairy tales, but I'm not going to link them down below because I have way too many. And, oh yeah, so actually, to be honest, I will link my top 10 versions of these certain fairy tales I have down below if you guys want to see them. I was going to say I wasn't, but to be honest, I'm actually going to do it. I'm not going to link any of the movie reviews because there's way too many that it'll take me forever to do those videos. So I'm going to get started. So number one on my list would have to be Beauty and the Beast. Now, a lot of you guys know that if you watch my channel, you know that Beauty and the Beast is my favorite fairy tale of all time. I watched it so many times. I watched the Disney version so many times as a child, and I've watched so many different versions of this fairy tale that I love it so much. I like the fact how you have somebody beautiful who can see the kind heart in something very hideous. Like, for instance, a beast. Well, obviously it's called Beauty and the Beast. I like the fact how you have a beautiful girl who sees who's beautiful from both inside and out due to the fact of her heart and soul and her appearance, and she shows sympathy for the beast, like compassion for the beast because of even though she sees he's hideous, she can tell that he's very sad and lonely deep down inside, and I really like that. And I do have a top 10 versions of Beauty and the Beast, and I'll link that in the description box down below if you want to see that. And number 2 on my list would have to be Cinderella. I like Cinderella. It's a good rags to riches story. I love a good rags to riches story. I really like this fairy tale where you have a beautiful and poor girl who has a good heart, and she's sadly mistreated by her stepfamily, but then she realizes that something good comes to her. And then she sees something good come to her for her good deeds and kindness, and I really like that. And I also like the fact that even though she gets dirty from all the ashes and the cinders, she still looks beautiful through her heart. Number 3 on my list would have to be Rumpelstiltskin. I like this story because you have a miller who makes a mistake about bragging about his daughter spinning straw into gold, which is like impossible, and then she makes a bargain with like a little dwarf who helps her, and I think it's a really good fairy tale, and like she always just gives him something no matter no matter if it's important to her, like she has to give him something in return for helping her and stuff, even if she has to give up a baby, which is kind of terrifying. It was just kind of sad. And I do have a top 5 versions of Rumpelstiltskin, and I'll link that down below. Number 4 on my list would have to be Sleeping Beauty. I like this fairy tale because I like the fact that even though I like the fact about a princess who falls asleep for like 100 years, and I like the story, original fairy tale of how the princess is given a curse first to die, which is sad, but then later on it's changed. Just so you guys know, I didn't want the princess to die. I was like saying that I like how at first it started off as a bad spell, but then it turned out to be sort of a good spell, because the princess is saved. Instead of dying, she falls asleep for 100 years, and I really like that interesting fact, how the story is about a princess who falls asleep for 100 years instead of dies, and I really like that. And I do have a top 10 versions of Sleeping Beauty, and I will link that down below if you want to see that. Number 5 on my list would have to be Rapunzel. I like this story because I like how you have a girl who makes friends who has really, really long hair, long enough to be thrown down for a prince to climb, and I like how the fact that somebody's texting me. I'm sorry, my phone is like going off nonstop and it's driving me crazy and it's distracting me. So princess with a beautiful girl with long blonde hair, and then she meets a prince, and then he visits her and climbs her hair all the time. Time to come and visit her. I really like that fact that she makes friends with the prince because she's lonely because all she has is her guardian to talk to, which is a creepy witch. And I do have a top 10 versions of Rapunzel, and if you wish to see that, I will link it in the description box down below. Number 6 on my list had to be Little Red Riding Hood. I like Little Red Riding Hood because I like the fact it has a little girl who learns a lesson about talking to strangers that she doesn't know. And how it's not safe to talk to strangers, like a wolf, for instance, as he tries to eat her, which is creepy. Number 7 on my list had to be Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I like the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears because this teaches a very valuable lesson of not going into someone you don't know's house because you don't know what they can do to you or what they can do to you when they get back or how they can harm you and stuff. I just like the fact how Goldilocks accidentally stumbles upon a home of 3 bears, and she invades their home, and she doesn't really understand it's not very polite to break into other people's homes. Number 8 on my list had to be the 3 Little Pigs. I really like the story of the 3 Little Pigs. I like how 2 of the pigs learn a lesson about how straw won't hold up a house or sticks won't hold up a house. I really find it sad how in some of the versions of this fairy tale that some of the piggies get eaten, which is sad. But I like how in other versions of the fairy tale how the pigs are saved. How the pigs are saved and they all live together. Number 9 on my list had to be Jack and the Beanstalk. I like this fairy tale because I like the fact of a curious boy who sees a giant beanstalk after he sells a cow for food, but he ends up getting magic beans instead, and then he ends up climbing a beanstalk, and he gets chased by a giant, and when he steals food, money or food or something from him. It depends on what version you're watching. And actually, here's a quick story. When I was in 7th grade, we were doing we were reacting a bunch of fairy tales in drama class. And for those who don't know, I wasn't a fan of drama at the time, so I didn't really like being in front of people. Anyway, so I had to but I participated just to get a good grade. Anyway, so I was doing drama class, and as I was doing drama class, I was nobody in my group who was doing Jack and the Beanstalk with me knew the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. I was the only person in the entire group who knew the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, which I found a little bit weird. Because, Jack and the Beanstalk I thought was a popular story. I just couldn't believe, and nobody in my group knew the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. I thought that was a little bit weird. Anyway, that was kind of weird. So I had to, tell them the whole story, explain the whole lines, and blah, 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 blah to them, so then they knew the story. Number 10 on my list would have to be Snow White. Now, to be fairly honest, I'm not really the biggest fan of the original story of Snow White. I feel like it's a little bit too dark for my liking. For those who don't know, I'm a fan of fairy tales that have happy endings. So I don't really like the story of Snow White because it's a little bit too dark for my liking and violent. Because you got an evil queen that's so jealous of their stepdaughter that she'll eat her heart in order to get rid of her. That's a little bit creepy and gross. Ugh. But I do like some versions, like the cute kid versions of it. I just don't like the darker versions of Snow White because I feel like they're way too depressing in my opinion. It's a little too creepy for me, and it's a little too sad. So anyway, but I do still like the fairy tale and stuff. It is a nice fairy tale about a princess who's sweet and kind, but sadly her jealous stepmother wants to get rid of her, but she manages to outsmart her stepmother. Anyway, and I do have a top 6 versions of Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, and if you wish to see that, I'll link it down below. Anyway, so those are my top 10 fairy tales. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post Monday through Saturday, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!